Hello, I am doing a quick video on this eye makeup. It is actually blended better in real life than what's picking up on the camera. It's quite frustrating to record this. But yeah, I'm using the Carnival palette number 2. So obviously if you haven't got the shades, just do similar shades. It's like a blackberry dark plum shade. In this one it's called Reckless. Boy Bye, which is like a corally pinky shade, quite orangey corally. And then into Keen, which is like a mustardy yellow. Well, it's quite a bright yellow, but yes, like that one's more mustard, so yeah, I'd say it's a bright yellow. And then what else did I use? Oh yeah, Inferno, so red shade, and then black. So I've already got eyeshadow base on my eye. I actually tried to not do too much on the lid, although it just happened anyway, but you don't need a lot on the lid. Let me get a towel ready. And then yeah, let's start. I don't know if I said, but I used the plouise base. It's amazing. It's starting to run out, this one is, so I cut the end off, and actually there's still quite a lot of product in. So if you feel like it's run out, make sure you do that. And I am going in with another plouise base. It's a paint, and this one is called Glow Girl. It's like a dark pink. And I'm going into the crease. I'm just stamping it in because I have to be cautious that I have got the base on there, and I don't want it to mix too much. I don't want it to be getting a more of a pink shade, and obviously them two blending together would make it a lot more pinker, like baby pink, and I don't want that. So if you don't have a paint, you can skip this step. This is purely for speed. What brush am I blending that out with? So just get a fluffy brush, and I'm just going to tap on the edges to soften them. It makes blending over it easier. But yeah, if you don't have a paint, you can skip this stage and just go in with the next shade that I'll be using, the eyeshadow shade. But this is just to help with speed. Having a darker background colour than like the lighter base will just make the next eyeshadow pop a lot quicker, and I wouldn't have to build it up as much. So I'm using that same brush, and I'm literally using a towel and I'm wiping it off, and I'm going to try and keep using this brush as much as possible. I did with this eye, so it's actually the free one that you get in the cherry palette, the Urban Decay cherry palette. I don't usually use it. I used it for the first time in a long time earlier, and I actually quite liked it. So yeah, so I've got the shade Reckless, the dark plummy purple, and I'm stamping it in to that crease area. So I'm not worried about blending yet, but as you can see, it's helping the shade get really dark. To be honest, probably need a smaller brush for this, like one that can get in a bit more finer. But for speed, I'm going with this bigger one. So when I say that, I mean probably one that size would be a little bit better to get in. But that's dirty, it's got black on it. I need to clean my brushes. So yeah, this process is, like I said, you could do this first, go straight in with a shade without the paint. But as you can see, it's just built up the intensity of that crease shade so fast. You probably have to do 2 or 3 layers of this on its own. Although the plouise bases are amazing anyway, this paint just gives it that extra strength of a colour, extra depth. It looks like I'm blending, but I'm tapping before I'm blending. Okay, so I'm just going to dust that brush off a little bit, and now I'm going to tap over that edge just like I did before, just to soften the edge before the next shade. Also, I'm keeping the shape round. I can't take credit for this look, by the way. I did it from a Stacey Marie tutorial, and yeah, she was keeping the shape quite round for this. So I've got this shade Boy Bye, which is that orangey coral shade, and now I am, actually let me make sure I'm tapping off, because obviously I've done my base. I want to try and avoid fallout by tapping off, and I'm tapping over that edge, so I'm kind of overlapping it whilst also adding the shade further out. And the reason tapping's good is because obviously that plouise base under has still not got shadow on, so it's pressing the colour into that base. In between, sometimes I am wiping my brush on the towel just to get off any excess dark shade, because obviously where it's overlapping it will be picking up the dark shade and we don't want it to get muddy. So I'm tapping it in. A good theory by Nosh MUA, who also I did some makeup like kind of lessons with, like she'd done a course and tutorials and I just followed some of them. But yeah, she had a good method by saying tap the shading you want until the colour isn't getting any brighter, basically getting the best out of the colour. So make sure you tap until that point. So then now again I am going to soften the edges just to help blend over the next colour. Now I'm picking up the yellow shade, so the shade Keen in this palette, and again I'm overlapping the coral and also making yellow in its new space. Again, I'm tapping it in first, and then what we'll do is go back over everything and re-intensify the shades and make sure they are better blended. And because it's already been pressed into the base from that point, I'll be able to actually blend using circular motions. But at the minute I'm kind of stamping the shades into that base, trying to get the best colour payoff before blending. Like that. So then now repeat the process. So you'll go in, add the Reckless, the purple shade, then add the orangey coral and then the yellow, and do that, repeat that process until you're happy with the blend and the pigment of them. Okay, so as you can see, the colour is quite intense now. But here, between the purple and the Boy Bye shade, it's obviously such a huge difference. They're not blending too well together, and that's where the Inferno comes in, so the red shade. So I'm picking quite a bit up, if it will let me. And then tapping off, because I've already done my base. I did this eye without my base. It was a lot easier, because obviously I didn't have to worry about any fallout. So the red's being done at this stage because there's already eyeshadow down, because if you go straight in with the red onto such a pale base, there's a chance it will go more pink than red, which is why the red is being done now. So I'm just trying to have a light hand with it. It's easy to layer up with a gentle pressure. So tapping it in places, and then also just blending out as well. And because you've added that new colour, you kind of got to repeat again and redo the other layers as well. So you got to re-add the dark purple, and then you got to re-add the orange, and then probably the yellow. So again, it's like building up the layers for the intensity and also for the blend. So it's quite a repetitive thing to do, so it can take a bit of time. To help blend these outer edges here, I've just took a bronzer, and it will help soften out those edges. You could always do it at the end of this step, but I just wanted to do it now. And that will help kind of disperse those colours into the skin. The next step is using the plouise black base. I think it's like Badder base or something. Well, it's the black one anyway. And I'm going to then put it on the lid, trying to not get too close to the crease because we'll be using eyeshadow to help blend those areas. So obviously spreading it all onto the top of the lid and underneath. Can be quite generous with this because it is quite a dramatic smoky look, a typical Stacey Marie look. And bringing it around. If you don't have the black base, you can actually use a gel liner or even a crayon liner, actually, eyeliner, wax pencil kind of thing. Anything just to help the eyeshadow pop. Anything dark, ideally obviously black. And yes, you can use it in the waterline. This actually makes an amazing eyeliner. So I'm going to set that now with the lights out shade, which is the black. So basically black eyeshadow. I'm trying to tap it off that little mini brush. And this eyeliner will not budge now. It's actually amazing for that. And then I'm just going to take a smaller brush, something like that, like a pencil brush, just so I can get in and help blend this out. So make sure it's got soft edges. And then you could do that on the top as well. I'll go back to the underneath in a minute, but I want to get the shadow on top. So also taking that same brush that I used the black base with, just giving it a wipe, and then I'm going to pick up obviously black eyeshadow. So here I really want to make sure I'm tapping off and trying not to get black all over my face, and press that in. So tap it in and really set whatever you've used there, so your gel liner, eyeliners, whatever it is. First I was a bit skeptical about that black base. I thought, oh, I'm not going to use it for much, but actually after using it for this look, I thought it's a really good product. I'm so glad I've got it now. So I've gone right up to the crease as much as possible, but then I'm going to go in now. I am going to go in with a smaller brush, a really thin crease brush, again with the black. Pick it up, tap it off. Obviously I'm tapping off because I've already got my base on. If you don't have your base on, you haven't got to be so vigorous with it. And I'm gently blending over the edge from the gel that we've put so far, and also so it's blending into that Reckless dark purpley plum shade. Trying to do small wiggly circular motions, try and get it blended. Pick some more up. This black shadow is amazing, don't need a lot of it. And I'm trying to do a really light pressure, especially because I've got my base on, but also it's just the best way to blend the black. You don't want to be too harsh and make patches. And because again we've applied a new colour, we need to go into that crease a little bit. With the Reckless, so the dark plum shade. I will use a thinner brush now, just ever so slightly, just to make sure it's neat. Okay, so I'm going back to the under eye. So I'm picking up the Reckless, the dark purple shade, and I'm going over that black, linking it into this outer edge too. Don't want no gaps. I'm quite impressed that I've not got a load amount of fallout. I've done good. Do not usually like to do my base before eyes ever. Can can just see a bit there that's not quite blended, so I want to blend it out a bit more. Okay, and so then now for the under eye as well, dust my brush off and go in with the Boy by the corally orangey shade, and I'm just bringing a little bit under just to heat it up a bit, give some warmth. Obviously, if you're going to try this, I know Eve, I'm doing it more for you because you asked me to do this. Obviously bring it down as much as you want, or go as high as you want. I like to go quite high when I do eye makeup, so I've got a lot of space, I've got big eyes, and it makes them closed. Also, I'm getting quite hooded, so I like to bring the dark shadows up a bit. It makes me not look so hooded, my eye so hooded. I can definitely see I'm aging. I can't wait for lockdown to be over so I can go and get some facials and Botox, because this year has aged me like I don't know what. It's actually depressing. So I'm just taking that brush with the bronzer on again and going around again, soften that edge some more. And that is it. Nice and easy, I hope. If you have a go, please send me a picture of how you get on. I'd love to see. I'm just going to do some lashes. So these are my Raver lash. Nice big lash for this look, because obviously it's so black you can even barely see the lash anyway. Yeah. So this glue, I got given this when I brought some eyelashes, and it's called Fingers, and it's really good glue. I need to investigate how much it is, because I got given it free. Obviously I don't know how much it was, but yeah, really recommend it. So for this look, I didn't put much through my brows. I tried to just draw in a little bit on the arch. I have soap browed them so they're nice and flat, and obviously it makes them look a bit thicker when they're flattened. And if you was wondering, my skin is, oh hang on, let me just, what was on there? Dust, any fallout, which I'm really impressed that there was hardly any, so tapping really does help. But yeah, my skin, I've got a mixture of NARS Pro Longwear plus the new matte one, and it does look pretty flawless today. I did try this before and I don't think I liked it as much as I do today. So it's so weird how sometimes foundations we can love and then hate. So I'm just whacking them on just to finish the look. And it's so frustrating that you can't see it as good as what I'm seeing in real life. But yeah, I'll try and take some photos so you can see the blend better, because it doesn't look great on video. I don't know why. It's quite frustrating sometimes. And that is it. So I hope you enjoyed it. Have a little play, let me know how you get on, and just use colours similar or products similar. Like I said, if you haven't got the paint at first, you can skip that step and just go in with the shadows as well. So have a good day.